Training. I know our training was during an Easter week, a whole week. How about you?
Similar, yeah. And then weekends up to summer. Or
Okay.
something, you know.
Now, what did you do in training? How many people were in training with you?
25, was it 20, 25 people, and I think the thing that stuck out the most to me in the training was we would all pile in a garbage truck and go up to West Beach, and then we'd have to run down all the steps at West Beach.
Now, we called it Byron's Grind.
Byron's Grind, and
yeah.
have to
Byron's
swim around the reef at West Beach and then back.
up.
But it was anything goes. I mean, they had no rules. You just had to get down and get back, and had to swim around the.
Well, that was
it was
pre-attorney.
And it was, and then
I think it was Steve that was epic. He discovered to slide on the
down
ice plant down on the side of the
steps.
Oh,
Yeah.
And anyway, but I still remember that, and the top 5 people got to ride back
Yeah.
in the Chief's car.
Instead of the back
Dick
of
Hazard's car.
trash truck. Huh?
Instead of the trash truck, and so.
I have a similar memory of something like that.
So-
Now, when you were there,
But I was able to go back with the Chief, so that was.
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's pretty good. Now, we talked about the Giggle crack.
Oh, yes.
Tell me your memories, experiences with the Giggle crack.
Well, mine. I was locking up. Well, you didn't lock it up, but wrapping up south of Aliso. I think it was 32. Was that?
It was
Yeah,
32. Bucket Tower, correct?
Yeah.
It was a
Bucket
bucket tower.
And right at 5, and a family comes down, 4, mom, dad, 2 kids, come down, and they go out on the reef at South Aliso, and right by the Giggle crack. And the surf hadn't been much, but it was starting to be. It was coming in.
Building.
And so I'm screaming at them to get off, but they're not. They were a different language speaking group, and so I'm taking my clothes off, I'm taking my uniform off and walking out to get them because I'm off duty now, but the phone's not even hooked up
Right.
anymore, and the freak wave came and washed them all off, and I plugged my phone in, threw it, and went, cut my feet up. I got workers' comp on that, so, and started to look for
The family.
4 of them.
Wow.
And 2 of them had washed off the reef.
Mm-hmm.
One was in the Giggle crack, and I got the one in the Giggle crack out, and then was able to collect the other 2. And I think the Jeep made it down about this time, and we started looking and couldn't find the 4th, the mother.
That's not good.
Couldn't find. She's gone, and I'm going.
Where was she?
She was washed into the cave that sits behind the Giggle crack.
Really?
In that little cove,
Uh-huh.
there was a little cave. I don't know if it's
Wow.
still there or not. And she was just sitting there lacerated. And we had to transport. They
Wow.
all were transported, but
I think anyone who's guarded at Aliso has a story almost exactly like that. Now, you mentioned, I called it the table rock, and then at the very end of it was almost like an upright piano.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was there, and everyone wanted to go out and get their picture, maybe sit on it or something like that. But
Yeah.
now, did you have any experiences, Bruce, with the
Yeah,
Giggle
actually,
crack?
south of Liso, and was when I first started guarding. That's where I guarded a lot. So I can remember 2 or 3 distinct rescues out of the Giggle crack, and one was a fisherman that got washed off into it and fully clothed. And but I think the thing that for me was the hard part is you had to run across all these rocks to get there, and you'd cut your feet up.
Oh,
And then you'd have to go in and try to get the person calmed down to where they would relax and either be washed back up onto the reef or swim them out, either one. And yeah, that's quite an experience. 3 or 4 times I've had to go into the Giggle crack.
Now I know the training involved
That was fun.
throwing us all into the Giggle
Yeah,
crack. And I
that was
remember there
fun.
was probably like 8 or 10 of us in there at a time.
And just washing back.
And they'd be
Get
sitting
used to
watching
it.
us rise and then sink over 10 feet when it was sand was out of
And
there.
then they'd tell it, just relax.
Just- yeah.
just relax.
Bounce around.
Which was easy to do when you're 16 or 17,
Yeah, it's
but
not so easy.
not so much when you're a little bit older. Now,